What is up, Cabbage Crew? It is Matt and John here discussing and reviewing episode 4 of the Dragon Prince Bloodthirsty. Just watched the video. So if, by the way, we are going to be getting reactions going on starting in season 2. So I know a lot of you people have been asking about that. So we're working out the ways of how to do it, and by season 2 we're going to be doing some reaction videos, which I'm excited for. Also subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers.
We're almost at 100. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers,
tell everybody. And then again, Cabbage Group podcast is going to be every other Monday, and these reviews as well as other shows reviews will be coming out Wednesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. in the morning for all three. So definitely check out our podcast as well as the other reviews that we had for this show, Dragon Prince. John,
well, first of all, where was the emphasis on the title? Like I was
Dragon Prince.
No, not that. the title of the episode, like
Bloodthirsty.
But bloodthirsty. Like you gotta
who says it like that? That's so
if you
so weird.
To emphasize the title.
Oh, okay. Dragon Prince Bloodthirsty.
There you go.
Episode 4. So episode starts out with I was just saying before, episode starts out with this like stare off between Rayla and Bait. And I was like, oh, get some personality to Bait. Like he just sat there and stared at her. But
yeah.
That was one thing I really like about Avatar is it makes the animals in the show very much characters.
What's about Avatar?
No, very much character. Yeah, this is an Avatar podcast. We're going to talk about Avatar at least like 8 times every episode. No, but it makes the characters. It makes the animals seem like they're characters, and I feel like they're going to start doing that with Bait a little bit, introducing some of his powers, and then showing some fun character that kind of came back around too with Bait later on. So that was I actually genuinely thought that was a funny scene. So I don't know if you thought of that as well.
Oh yeah, it was great. I put it in my notes as the stare down between Rayla and Bait. Though I don't think we even talked about it in the last reaction, but her band that the Hawk took.
Yeah, to be honest, So I was kind of confused about that, to be honest. So the band, what does the band do?
My guess is something to do with like her powers of like being in like a shadow.
Oh, the shadow. See, that's what I thought it was, but I thought that was the band that they like did a little a ceremonial thing at the beginning. Remember, they all like locked hands.
Yeah.
So I thought that was him just when he did that did the bird thing, the phoenix, whatever that was. I thought that was him like ending it, but maybe not. I don't know. I was kind of confused about. I'm sure we'll find out later.
Yeah.
So really, the episode starts with what looks like the death of the king, kind of a ceremony. They talk about how usually they mourn for 7 days when a king falls, but this is in the middle of the war, so they have to jump right to the ceremony. Varen lies about the princess being dead as well, so he is essentially next in line. Very much Lion King vibes. like the king dies, the princes run away, the lord lies about the princes still being alive, and we never see Harrow die.
No.
So that's
I thought that too. Yeah, I thought that too. I think there's two options. A, he actually did die, and that's him in the pyre, is that what they call it, or the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
And then so that's option A. Option B is that there's no one in there, and he's holding him somewhere, like in a prison cell or something, and But like option A would be like he died, but like Viren killed him. I don't think like the elves killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like Viren would be the one to kill him. So that'd be like that's option A of like he's in the sarcophagus, but Viren kills him, and then B, you know, the like he's held hostage somewhere and the sarcophagus is empty.
Or there's option C, which I don't think they're going to go this route, but option C is they introduce that snake that can bite you and put your soul in someone else, and maybe he killed the king is dead, but really the soul of the king lives within someone else who is locked up, and no one would know that this is actually the king. They would think it's maybe an elf, or maybe, maybe he put him in someone else and he locked him up so he can still have the king alive if he needs him, but everyone thinks the king, the human body of the king, is dead.
Right. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the whole concept of putting a soul in another person's body is confusing for the audience. It's like, okay, so I'm watching this new character who's actually this character, but that we met 2 episodes. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but yeah. So the whole kingdom thinks the princes are dead, and so now it's the next in line is essentially this king. So
Rayla, I thought that was a very moving scene. I thought that I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that to happen. Like the way it did, where it immediately goes to like, oh, the king died, like in the music, and it was kind of moving. I was like, okay, so this kind of happened. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was unexpected. There's a lot of in this. What I found the last 2 episodes, especially, there's a lot of like cinematic music and like of death. It reminded me of in Thor 2, the death of the mom, and they all brought her out to the edge, and it's like very cinematic, like landscaping, and you hear music and there's an emotional moment at the beginning of an episode, type of thing. Like that was back-to-back episodes where we had this like them getting ready for war. It kind of mirrors that. Them getting ready for war with music in the first episode, and the next episode is them mourning the death of the king in the next episode at the beginning.
Right.
So I like that. Yeah, I think that whole scene was well done. Clearly, the entire kingdom seems like they don't really believe in this or want this, or they think they are not doing it the right way by kind of escalating the process of making him king and doing the coronation so quick.
Right.
So that's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So the next scene is we talked about it a little bit before. Rayla explaining the different primal sources of magic to Caleb, and it's really the first time in this series, besides the the real open of the series, that they explain the magic to a character and how it works. And it's funny because I thought Earth was one of them, but maybe I'm wrong. So the 6 primal sources are the air, the sky, the ocean, the stars, the sun, and the moon. Yeah. And the 7th is dark magic, which they created.
Yep.
And this is season 1, moon, mainly because the moon elves use magic. It seems like there's stones. Well, it seems there are stones that also, to be able to use magic, you need that source to essentially help you. Either if it's if it's a windy day, if you're using air, or if it's the moon's out to use moon. But if you have one of these stones and you're holding them, you're able to always use the magic, and that's why Caleb was able to use some air magic when he got the stone, because he's, I guess, a mage, which is pretty cool. So yeah, cool world building. John's freaking out over there. Woo! But yeah, so some cool world building in that aspect. What do you think about that whole? It reminded me of the Iroh scene with Zuko teaching him all the elements.
You said it. I don't have to say it. Yep.
Go ahead.
No, you said it.
I'm sorry. Is that what you were thinking too?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of references in this episode that I actually appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's your thoughts about the whole stone? I mean, like the whole world when it comes to like the magic. Do you like the magic that they're kind of slowly got now get kind of teaching us how the magic, not only about the magic, but how it works and different new aspects like the stones?
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's like a rehash of
mhm,
because they kind of explain it in the first episode, but then like you're getting lost in the world building, you're getting lost in each episode. So like it's a good re-explanation of how this world works. It was a
mhm.
good uh yeah, like reconfiguring what this whole Zadia world building world is. It was good.
Yeah, I also like how she was explaining it to him, and he was almost asking her questions that we, the audience, might be asking as well. I think that's a good way of explaining a magic, like a world with magic. Is it's like take someone that doesn't understand it in the world, explain it to them, and then when they have questions, they might be questioning the same thing we are. Um, so they're asking the questions, and we're just kind of listening to the questions we might be having
Right.
being answered. So that was kind of cool. And then there's apparently a box at the lodge, coincidentally, that they're now trying to get because they think that might be able to help them.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, moving on to the lodge scene. I will say they got to the lodge pretty quick. Um,
Yeah.
but maybe not. I would say I was expecting it to be like,
Today.
well, to be honest, I was expecting the lodge to be like 20 miles away, 30 miles away. I mean, maybe it was. Maybe they walked an entire day and they got there. Well, they did spend the night. They did sleep overnight. So maybe they did walk like 10 miles, fall asleep, and then wake up and walked another couple miles. It was like 15 miles away.
Right.
Um,
They,
so
they,
yeah,
they just skipped the
yeah,
walking. Yeah.
yeah. I would have maybe liked a little bit more walking and them talking about something, to build up something between them and character art, character development stuff.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I will say the lodge and even the art in the entire show we've talked about a little bit. But I will say when they showed the lodge from a distance, it was the first time where I was like, "Wow, that looks really nice. That's like a painting." The lodge looked to me very nice.
Oh,
Um,
it was great animation. I loved it.
yeah, cool. Yeah. So yeah, they get to the lodge and she has to go in there, which is odd that she has to go alone. I don't know why they didn't. I feel like once they got to the lodge, and again, I don't know if this is writing or this is just the way they did it, but it's like you would think once they got to the lodge, it's like, all right, humans might be here. So
Hmm.
you guys stay here. I'll go in there, and if there's humans, then I'll just talk to them, and and then I'll grab the box and
Who, Rayla or Callum?
count any of the kids.
Okay.
If there are humans in there, that we can still make this work. Just Rayla, stay here, and if we don't come back, just hide until we come back. And
Right.
and that might be a day if there's humans in there.
Hmm.
We might have to sneak out tonight if the humans are in there, but if not, then it's gonna be 10 minutes. But so it's just weird that he like drew a picture of it and gave it to Rayla to go in there. And it's like, why didn't you just go in and grab it? Like the
Right.
only one that's in danger right now to go in there is Rayla.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, um, but anyway, yeah, that whole scene, and then the ant shows up.
Yeah.
Um, what's your thought process of the ant and her showing up and that the human showing up?
It was like, of course, there's gonna be a foil in their plans, um, and it ends up like, I'm like, at first I didn't know that she was deaf. Like the first 30 seconds, I was
Hmm.
like, oh, like her second in command is just like talking for her, which he is, but I thought like he was just she just wasn't talking.
Right.
Um, and then we noticed the sign language. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Mhm.
That's cool. Um, and then it was nice to see like them hug it out because it seems like they haven't seen each other in a little while. Um, and then they try to explain to her like, hey, like we'll go in. You don't have to do it yourself, and we'll go in there real quick and strip the place. And she's like, nah, kicks the door down. um, which was pretty funny. And then you know, having the like we want breakfast, we haven't had anything. And she pulls up this hard bread that's like a sword.
Yeah, I love also when he's like when he goes in and he's like, I forgot exactly what he says, but he's like, your human warriors can stay outside. Plenty of human warriors.
Human warriors with swords.
With swords, they're heavily armed, and she's like, "Why are you talking like that?"
Yeah,
that was
funny.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
So do you think that is it's interesting because she is deaf. Do you think that they're just trying to have representation, which is fine? Or do you think there's a specific reason later on why they're making that character deaf?
I mean, it might be both. I mean, it might
Might be,
be.
yeah.
I mean, it's because like either because like if there's a reason why she's deaf, that doesn't mean there isn't representation. So like that's just either way, she is representing the like a deaf community in an animated form. But in general, so far as we know, I think they did a really great job of making have a strong deaf character be a badass. I mean, that's just that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. But it was just kind of funny. Like she was like, "These are this bread is a weapon of war."
Yeah. Well, it is always interesting. Like when I think of like not handicap in the sense of physically handicapped, but handicap in the sense of deaf, blind, characters. Obviously we have Toph, which we love. But then also for a good amount of the boys, you have can't think of her name right now. But the female is her like superhero name, Kamiko. And she's a deaf character that doesn't. She can talk, but she's not allowed to talk. But her character doesn't talk throughout the whole entire series either. Not because she can't talk, but because like there's a reason why. Yeah, but that's a cool. Now something I thought about. This might be a stretch, but something I did think about. They introduced last episode a spell that did not allow that takes away your voice.
Boom!
I thought about that. I was like, I wonder if because we even said that was kind of random.
Yeah.
And and it's like maybe they introduced that because because maybe she knows something, or maybe he wanted her out of the picture because it's the aunt. So you think maybe she's next in line, but maybe the community would prefer not to have a deaf queen. I don't know, but it's like there has to be a reason for maybe either what is it, Varen or someone else to take away her voice.
I don't think my implication is that she's not next in line because
maybe she's not. Yeah.
Well, because like by the ending of this episode, she says that, hey, they're alive. So like
no, I'm saying as in like, oh yeah. Well, what I'm saying, I guess, is if the princes were to die, maybe it would fall to the sister.
Well, then yeah, that's what it would be. But like since but that's not that doesn't make any sense.
No, I got you. I was just thinking of reasons maybe why he would do it if he were to do it, or maybe
she
he
just
didn't
knew.
even do it.
Maybe she just knew information, or like she saw Viren like plan out something bad. Like who knows?
Well, she has a translator.
What?
She has a translator, so it's like it's not like she couldn't just say, "Hey, like I'm going to translate it," and he can say it for me.
What do you mean? I'm confused.
No, I'm saying like if she saw something bad and he made her deaf to make it so she couldn't say something, she has a person that can translate for him. For her, I mean.
Yeah.
Never mind. I thought it was interesting that they introduced the spell to take away your voice, and then they have a deaf character the next episode. So maybe that comes back around.
I agree. It's very interesting. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, what was her name again? Aunt what?
Amaya.
So Aunt Amaya fights Rayla because she finds Rayla in the kids playroom because she's looking for the toy. I did like that she looks at the picture and then she like looks up and it's like the exact same and she's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are like the situational comedy parts that I love, where it's like I love like when something's not really funny, but it's funny to us as the audience because of the situation they're in, or like that's not a funny thing to do, but for us, it's like, oh, that is funny. Instead of just a character telling a joke or doing a quick little one-liner, which is fine too, but it's always funny when there's a situation someone's in, and us, the audience, thinks it's a funny situation or a funny moment.
Well, I guess that since you brought that up, going back, because we didn't talk about it in the beginning of the episode, where Soren's like, oh, I had a long night, and she just, here's this hot morning brown coffee, brown potion.
It's magic.
And I'm just like, that was creative. That was very creative.
That's funny too. So the fight sequence happens, which is a pretty good fight sequence between the Ant and Rayla. And they knock her out because they assume that she knows where the kids are.
I was like, my jaw dropped when she sucker punched her. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
I was like, okay, you just like knocked out a teenager, but okay.
Yeah. So they knock her out, then they ended up saving her, rescuing her with bait, using bait. Using bait as the bait. And they end up getting away. Now the Ant and I guess you could say the heavily armed warriors end up surrounding them.
Yep.
And Caleb uses the idea of saying that she's a bloodthirsty elf and blah blah blah. She's gonna kill us if you don't let us leave, which I thought was not great writing. I know it came back around. They talk about at the beginning how she said that kind of like hurt her feelings, that they think that, and then he uses it again, which hurts her feelings again, and doubles down on it. I understand the writing behind it. I just thought they could have done it a little bit better.
It didn't make sense. I don't think it made like. Well,
yeah, no, I agree,
because Rayla is a strong character, and then like having that affect her, it didn't blend well. I don't think, just because she seems to be the type of person that doesn't get like names don't affect her kind of thing. Like that's the kind of vibe that I got. Where, but then like it did show that like she got hurt feelings by it, which is fine. But at the same time, it's like I did not get that vibe based off of her personality.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that as much. I almost mind if you're trying to get away with somebody, why would you make it so the people that are trying to capture you want to kill her more? Like, it's like, what if that hero hit her in the face? That she should have just been dead because you said that.
Right.
Where, you know what I mean? Where like, again, going back to Avatar: Last Airbender, in one of the best episodes in the series, in my opinion, the Blue Spirit, Zuko as the Blue Spirit uses a tactic to get away with Aang by threatening to kill him. It's very similar to that, but they don't want Aang to die. So it's like, oh, if Aang dies, then we have to find the Avatar again, and this whole cycle starts over of us trying to wait and find the Avatar. And so they're like, let them escape, because worst case scenario, they escape, we can just go capture Aang again because he's in a vulnerable state right now. That is the opposite of what happened, which is we want this elf to die, and you're just threatening. You're just saying the elf's going to kill me. And, like it would have been, if he did it just differently, I think that, I don't know. I think that was just not done well. And I kind of agree with you as well. It's like, out of all things that hurt her feelings, just calling her a bloodthirsty elf makes her even, like it just, I think that whole
it shows like I see the like how it shows even the toughest of people can get hurt by the smallest of things. But I don't know. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
thought that it didn't make sense.
It also
based
is
on-
like, again, it kind of like this show has done this a few times, which again I'm okay with in a sense, but it's like things that you would think would be later on, they're doing quickly. Like, for instance, if this was the finale and they were together for a month, and this is the first time where she feels like, man, these are humans, but I connect with these humans more than I connect with my elves. It's just like because we're the same age, we're on this journey together. We've had a couple moments together where we really are starting to like understand each other, and then he says this, and then it's like then it kind of like just hits her deep. They know each other for like 8 hours. She literally tried to murder them like 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Like, and now he's saying, oh, she's bloodthirsty. And it's like, well, you were trying to kill me like maybe 3 hours ago.
A day ago.
Like today. So it's like where if this was the end of the first season or midway through the second season where they've had a journey together and now they have become friends. And then she's like, wow, do you still kind of look at me as that way? And now she's like, it's in her head. And maybe he doesn't, but it's like in her head where it's like, man, maybe he actually still kind of looks at me as this person that's trying to kill him. And now we're just not actually friends together.
You explained it better. Yes.
Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. But yeah, so that and I agree. I think it just that is not the best writing, and I think that her character wouldn't do this at this point. So the aunt now has go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, just jumping back, and I want you to know if you know the reference.
Oh,
when Rayla and when Bait, when Rayla escapes with Bait's help, when she says, "Say hello to my little friend."
Yes. Oh no, I don't do this. Scarface. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought so. Which didn't they have another reference like that? Like last episode, a couple episodes ago, they said something. There was a reference. Oh, it was Game of Thrones. It was a Game of Thrones reference. Winter is coming.
Yes.
We were like, oh. Yeah. Or he's like, no, he said winter. He said winter is not coming yet, or something.
No, he said, winter is coming. That's what it was.
Yeah, so at the end of the episode, we get introduced to a new character, Corvus, who is essentially set to hunt down the bloodthirsty elf and save the kids. And while he's doing that, the aunt goes back to the kingdom to announce that the kids are actually still alive, the princes are still alive, and to end the coronation.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, we're about halfway through the first season because there's 9 episodes.
Right.
Yeah, I really like how that episode ends. I always like the idea of the two multiple characters going on a journey and someone chasing them. After Airbender season 1, yeah, it's like, and now you establish these 4 characters together, 3 characters / an animal, and now you have this character that's now chasing them for the rest of the journey, or at least maybe for the rest of the season, or we'll see. But that's kind of cool.
Combustion Man.
Yes. Oh yeah. No. You gave me the Combustion Man vibes. Yep. I agree with you. Now that you say that, it depends on the character, right? If this character ends up being like a main guy, but it may, maybe he's not. He also didn't say anything.
Just like Combustion.
They're like Corvus, and it's like dun dun dun. He's like, okay, I'll go. It's like he's probably a really nice guy. He's literally just a human being that's sent to help the princess. Like he's not a villain at all. He's not an evil man.
And now,
so
yeah, Viren wanted to be, right before he's coronated, Lord Protector of the Realm, or the what do they call it? The realm. It was like the reaction. No, of the realm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so overall, I like this. I actually really like this episode.
This has been my favorite one.
I was gonna say this might be my favorite episode. The comedy landed. So far, yeah, I mean 4 episodes, but the comedy, in my opinion, landed when it needed to. The writing, again, there were certain things I didn't like about some writing. Kind of like we talked about.
Yeah.
But the Rayla, that stuff, the Rayla bloodthirsty thing, I think that could have been done better. But it wasn't so bad that it hurt the episode too much. No. Good fighting sequence in the toy room, and And yeah, overall, just a pretty good episode.
I agree.
Good launching point for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm liking where this is heading.
Yeah.
We're building it up now. They're on their journey. They're on their little fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to the rest of it. And it's just very what's it called? It's very nice. It's very I guess nice. I hear that, but like,
oh my god! Man, I gotta make that into a short.
But it's,
that reminds me of a Jameis Winston clip where he's like, my trainer used to always tell me to really work hard and really work hard. And it's like, that's it.
It's very. I can't think of the word other than nice.
Well, I would say this
for 23 minutes, for having 23-minute episodes,
mm-hmm.
like where it's like short, quick, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this episode did a really good job. This episode was a very finite, like tight episode. Like everything that happened for a reason. From the beginning stare off to them talking about her being blood, even though I don't agree with how they did it, but then talking about how she was bloodthirsty when they were walking for a couple minutes with the little juice. That came back around. Like everything felt like it had a part to play in the puzzle of the episode, which some episodes have not done that. Some have done it better than others. I think this one was the perfect one that did it correctly. And now going into episode 5 through 9, we now have kind of a vision of where we're going. It very much now is no longer even in question. We have a villain. We have a character now chasing the main characters. And I think we like all 3/4, if you count Bait, of the main characters. We kind of know who each one of them are enough to like very much be moving forward in the story. And I like it. I'm liking what I'm watching so far, man.
Yeah,
I am.
And I was gonna say it's nice for once. That's what I was trying to say. It was nice. It's nice for once that instead of doing like most shows nowadays are like 40 minutes to an hour, whereas like these animated shows are more of like 23 minutes. It's just nice to get them one and done. Like you can just like binge easily. With
9 episodes. I mean, 9 episodes at 20 minutes is just a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit down for 2.5 hours and watch a season of this.
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, I hope it's not too fast because it does seem like we're just getting into the series and we're already halfway through the first season. I mean, there are 7 seasons, so but yeah. So far, I'm liking where we're at. So, all right, Cabbage Crew. Well, comment below of just some of your. I guess you know what. Comment below. What out of the first 4 episodes? What's your favorite episode so far? It looks like me and you both believe that this is our favorite episode. Just let us know what your favorite episode of the first 4 episodes are, or the whole first season. Let us know if there's an episode that you specifically like, and we haven't watched it yet. We'll be looking forward to that. So definitely join the discussion. Again, subscribe. We're at 99 subscribers. I mean,
we're at 99.
Yeah,
99.
Oh God, you don't offend anybody. We have a Mexico audience, man.
What about Peru? What about Spain? What about Argentina?
True. Also, a couple of you guys have been commenting below. Really appreciate the support and the love. Definitely got us excited. So definitely keep that up. We appreciate you guys. And again, Mondays, Cabbage Scoop podcast. Every other Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the reactions.
Yes.
And reviews.
And if you could also comment below a synonym for nice for me, that'd be great.
Yeah. Nice. Joyful. Something like that. But all right. Peace.